using an 1/8" drill bit first, so I can do this demonstration on drilling the last part of your helicopter. So who wants to volunteer theirs? You ready? Okay, we need to drill a hole in the tail and in the top. But it's very important that the two rotors don't touch each other, so that when you spin them, it goes quack, 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 and it hits the other one. People really don't like that. Even though actual helicopters, they actually do spin in and out of their gear to spin between each other, we're not that cool. So we're not going to do that. So we want to do the tail first, and we want to do the tail first because it has the least room to move. This rotor up on top, we can slide all the way forward and all the way back depending on where we want it. But this one doesn't have much room to move. So we're going to drill it first. The problem is if I drill too close to the tail, right up at the tail side there, what's going to happen? It's going to split. Wood's got the grain going this direction, or should have the wood going this way, and it'll probably break off and split right there. So we want it to be just down a little bit from the top. If you want to go in the media section, that's just fine. It's not going to damage anything. It's not going to hurt anything. So we're going to drill down halfway in, or just about halfway through this piece right here. What's a good way to drill halfway through a piece of wood without setting a depth stop? Does anybody have any good ideas? You can use your eyes. But it's really hard once the drill bit goes into the wood. It's really hard to feel where you are. Okay, you can't see anymore. You can't guess how deep you're going. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a block of wood to set it on, and I'm going to grab a permanent marker, and I'm going to put a mark on the drill bit. I'm going to put a mark right at the right height that I want to go. So I'm going to set this up. This is a really bad piece of wood because it's tapered, so I'll get another piece so it doesn't matter which side you have it on. But I'm going to put this and bring this down, and I'm going to hold it so it's just about halfway through my piece of wood. You see that? My bit is come down where it's not touching this. I don't even need the helicopter there. I can bring it down to where it's about 1/4 inch above right there, and that's how deep I want to go. And then I can put this up here and I know how deep I want to drill into there now. So I'm going to take my marker, and you guys shouldn't need to do this after unless you need to make it a little darker when you drill, because the ink will come off as soon as that bit warms up a little bit. So I'm going to put a mark on here. Let's see if I can do it two-handed. I'm going to hold your project for a second. Hold it right there. So I'm going just past halfway, and I'm going to put a mark up here. Okay. Now there's a black mark on the drill bit, right where I want to stop. So what Sean's going to do, since he already has his glasses, is he's going to hold it right here, and you can put it on either side. What's important is you don't drill all the way through. Can this just keep going and drill all the way through? Very easily, and it happens all the time. If you do drill through, quick fix, you make a second one and you put it on the other side. You have two propellers, one on each side. Some people do that just because they want to do that anyway. But if you drill all the way through, that is your fix. Otherwise, if you leave a hole on the other side for me, I will grade it that way. So we don't want to drill all the way through, so make sure you're watching your mark and you're not going past your mark. So we're going to set this up on here, and Sean is going to hold it steady. If I rock it, I could break that bit really easy. So I'm going to hold it stiff, and then I get to pick wherever I want to drill that in there, and I drill down until the black mark is just at the top of my helicopter. Ready for this? The handles on this drill press are really sketchy, so good luck. Sweet. So now that he's got a hole right here, he can line up his blade with that hole, and now he knows how far forward this blade needs to go so the two don't touch. So there's two ways to do it. I have two cans right here. One says 3/4 small blade screws. This is the small blade. Which one's that? One in the back. And then I have the 1-inch big blade screws. Those are the ones up on top. So we're going to grab the small one and just temporarily we're going to put it through there. And we don't need to get a screwdriver and drive it all the way in because we're going to take this back off when we oil it. All we want is a marking. So I'm going to put this and just get it started for him. And now he knows how far forward so the two don't touch when he spins it. Because that's the first thing everybody's going to do is they come up to your helicopter and spin it. Unless it's a little baby, and then they'll just smash it. It's over. So we want this far enough back, because if it's too far forward, it looks really kind of like it's in the wrong place. So make sure it's far enough back where it still looks cool. The closer it is, the better it looks. I have had a mistake where people do it for one side, and then they spin it around and they find out that this side was actually longer, and so it's hitting on the other side. So it's easy to sand that down afterwards if you need to. Usually you don't have too much of a problem. Once you figure out how far forward, you're going to put a mark right in the center of your middle piece. And then we know where to drill it. Alright, so we're going to take this aside now. So when it's your turn, that black mark is on there. So it doesn't matter where this is sitting. It doesn't matter if the height's a little different because you're only going down to the black mark. So this height doesn't matter. This will go up or down depending on where this is tapered. So once you put yours on here, the important thing is to only go down to where that mark is. And if we want, we can put a piece of tape up there. So can anybody just think through what would go wrong if I put a piece of tape at that right height? The dust will get clogged in it, so it'll be hard to see, and the next person who goes down, if they go a little too far, it'll push the tape up. And if the next person goes down too far and pushes the tape up some more, pretty soon you can drill all the way through because the tape just gets pushed up. That's why the black mark is a good idea, because it's not going to get pushed anywhere. You just have to redraw it every once in a while. It's always good to have it far enough forward so there's no chance that it hits. So leave yourself at least like a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch gap. Alright, so he put a mark on top now. He's got a little dot and it's centered on his middle piece. So it's right where we're going to drill. We want to drill approximately 1 inch in there. Here's the problem. You see how the blade is sloped a little bit? And I drill straight down through that. What's going to happen when I spin the blade? It's not going to spin right. The top is going to be rubbing on the screw the whole time. It's going to be rubbing on it, and it's going to slow down a lot faster because my screw is going straight and this is at an angle. So what can I do? I can go at an angle. I like this dude. Very nice. So I'm going to drill it at an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it right here, and I'm going to put it right on top of his mark. You guys see that's a little bit slanted right there? So all I need to do is tilt this back so it's horizontal. You see how the blade is sitting horizontal now? We're doing this by eye. That's what I want you to figure out. I take my blade and I slide it under right where it touches. Now I can drill straight down into it. An inch, we're going to eyeball this. And the reason why is because what would happen if I drilled too deep here? Nothing at all. You got 3 inches to drill into, so even if you bottom this sucker out, you're still not going to drill too far, and it's not going to do any damage. So I'm going to give you an option to, we want to drill down 1 inch, and so that leaves about 1 inch left over on this bit. If that's not very cool for you, if you're not willing to work with that, I can help you set the depth gauge so it stops at the right place. But I find when students get to this point, they'd rather just be done with it than worry about setting the stock. And so nobody ever used it when I set it up. So I'm giving you the option. If you want to do it perfect, come find me. I will help you. But otherwise, we need a bit that's this long to go into it. So I'm going to put that, it's just the same height, and then I have my 1/4" blade on top. So we have this in the right place. Sean's going to come back over here. He's going to drill down. If you want to, you can center punch it first, or I think Sean's just going to eyeball it and make sure it goes right in the center when he drills down. See how he's holding the helicopter so it stays steady when he starts drilling. And if I would have talked that whole time, that would have taken about a minute to do both of those. It really doesn't take very long to set it up. So now he can put the big blade screw on. By the way, when you pull these out, make sure they look about the right size. I've had students interchange these before and get the wrong one in the wrong place. That's embarrassing. We're going to check. Looks like he's got clearance right there, just barely. Oh, got like a 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so he made it, and the good news is when he starts putting this drill in, or the screw in for real, it will suck it back just a little bit. So he's golden on this. So the next thing is to take sandpaper, and you're gonna finish everything. Any little mark of glue, any little pencil line, and the best thing is to do what? When you think it's ready, the best thing is to, let me check it, because I will look at it and it'll take me about 3 seconds to glance over and say, hey, when you oil this up, this burn mark right here is really going to show up, because the oil brings out those burn marks and any scratches, and you should fix that right now. Because once you put the oil on, you have to sand through the oil if you want to take any marks off later, and it gums up the sandpaper. It's not very good. So it's best to do it right now. So Sean's actually looks pretty good. I only see a couple pencil lines and a couple pieces of scrap. Grab a screwdriver. If you want to, you can put the screws in now, but we have to take them off to oil everything down. I can see on his blade right here, you see these different color variations. What that means is there's different bumps on that. So he should probably sand that blade just a little bit, take some of those out first. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. Questions on this part? Anything I went over too fast on? Okay, when it's your turn, come find me if you need some help. Otherwise, use the mark and then take it off, drill an inch.